Yes, my name is Stefano. I'm one of the directors of engineering at Roct. I've been at the company for around 2 years. Previously VP of engineering, SiteMinder, solution architect, different roles between individual contributors and managers. I started coding when I was 10 years old, back in Italy. I'm originally from Italy, like the name suggests, and I loved it because my father was working for Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard back then used to make a lot of things, including computers, and so I got my first computer when I was like 5 years old, and I was intrigued by the video games. I wanted to make some video games, and back then there was only C and C++, so that's how I got it. And to understand that it's a very different job. It's a very different job. You're an enabler, you're not an individual contributor, and you need to learn how to deal with people and all levels, from recruitment to retaining people, providing feedback, making sure that whatever you say is not misunderstood, try and bring clarity. These are the challenges. I actually learned web development through PHP, so I went through all the various versions and everything. I think PHP has a better reputation because it's kind of hard to do certain things with it. However, if you're just building websites, it's a very mature ecosystem, if that makes sense. If you want anything a little bit more complicated, where memory management, thread management, all this kind of stuff, it's very, very hard to do it in PHP. It's not even possible, let's say, but yeah. Depends on the website. If it's the static websites, there's a lot of website generators out there. I would choose one based on Node. I don't even remember some of the names I used in the past, but there's one every 3 months that comes out. So that actually automatically generates a static website for you. If you're thinking about a dynamic website, I would look into something like Vue with server-side rendering and Node.js to the backend. Why? Because it's easy and there's a lot of tooling out there, and it's really a pleasure to make it happen. As a personal, and it's also easy to resource people. Passion, interest in technology, side gigs that would show that interest, and also what I would say the patterns that I've learned to be connected to good outcomes when you join the workforce. How do you deal with problems? How do you deal with conflict? How do you deal with uncertainty? Basically, what most behavioral questions and interviews kind of are there to bring up, and I think if you asked me 6 months ago, a year ago, I would have said a take home, but nowadays I think a lot of companies do live coding. A live coding exercise that is not designed to be too complicated, but just to assess certain specific skills, and some whiteboarding exercises for design systems. Don't get in software engineering just because it pays well. Just do it if it's a passion, and if a passion will come out, then you'll race through the ranks and keep that passion running for a long time. A lot of people just after a while there's an element of repetition, but you have to. I guess you have to always be ready to learn. So. I think everybody should have a stint in the media industry, where you actually get exposure to scale. I think for me it was really important when I was a News Corp. It was not that complicated scale, but it was still a lot of a scale. And then having some experience in highly transactional systems. That could be a fintech with a lot of let's say a lot of traffic going through, or webs, any sort of integration company that, let's say SaaS company with a lot of integration, a lot of traffic. That would be important, because the skills that you learn in how to handle things at scale are invaluable, and they are extremely well regarded and paid in the industry. No, I think the number one error that when you move from an IC position to management is to focus too much on how what you do and what you say is going to be perceived with respect of your status within the company. So there's that leads you a lot to focusing a lot on making things look better for you. It's normal that you want to get into management because there is a push from wanting to count more and be more important. But you need to, what you learn the hard way usually is that that's not enough, and it's actually very important that you keep that at bay and focus on just doing a good job and don't overdo it.